So Rovyvon does not make large flashlights often, and this is a very, very large flashlight. Using a 21700 battery, it has a magnetic tail base, pocket clip, USB Type-C charging, a collar to activate the mode set, and a button on the front. It also has glass breakers built into the bezel on the front, and as you can see, it is a quad emitter setup, but it kind of translates to a solid beam in the middle. Now, when I first got this flashlight, I didn't like it because I thought they were trying to make a quote-unquote tactical light, but have it be a side switch, which doesn't make much sense. That's not what they were trying to do, at least from what I'm figuring out now. When I handed this light to my daughter, who's only 8 years old, she was able to figure it out without any input from me. Now, she may have flashed herself with the strobe once, but nonetheless, she did figure it out. So that's really, really cool that they were able to do that. And having lights that are, in emergency kits, or in drawers, in cars, that are easy to manipulate, I'm starting to realize it's an incredibly important thing. If I'm, for whatever reason, unable to explain it, it has to be able to be figured out easily. And this one is pretty easy to figure out. So before we get into that, let me just talk about the outputs real quick. There are 4 primary modes. The high will be 2200 lumens, 7000 candela. It'll run for this output for 2 minutes before dropping to the medium for another hour, 1.8 hours. And then of course there's low, which gets 65 hours of runtime, and eco, which gets 65 hours of runtime, and then of course low, and so on. The way this works is pretty interesting. If you just try to press the button, which is the first thing everyone does, you're going to get the battery indicator. And each one of these little lights indicates 25%. That doesn't do anything. So basically it's locked out. And that's what's nice about this. You don't actually have to do a button-enabled lockout or a mechanical lockout where you unscrew the back. It works fine. Because this collar is relatively hard to move, you're not going to accidentally actuate the light. Now, speaking of that, the first thing someone's likely to do is to probably turn it to the left here, and in that case, they will get the strobe function. Now, if you're in the strobe function and you click the button one time, it will turn into a SOS or beacon mode. So this is a corner case, of course, but having it built into this type of flashlight makes a load of sense, and I'm kind of glad they actually included it. Now, if we go back to the middle, we'll get a battery indicator once again, and that turns it off. Now, if I go to the right, I'm going to come in on whatever I had saved last. So it does have mode memory of one of the 4 outputs that are here. But what I love so much about this light, and my daughter figured out and frankly was blinding me with, is that if I just press the button at any point, it's going to go straight to 4000 lumens. So imagine I'm going through a room and I'm a little scared. Well, my daughter was having fun with it, at least. Yes, I was having fun too. And yeah, so all I have to do is press the button and it'll take me up to 4000 and then drop down to whatever I had before. So that's the low, that's the medium, and then that's the high. So go back to eco, low, and you get the idea. So really simple in function, but it does so really, really, really well. Now, I should mention, this is probably the strongest magnet I have ever seen in a flashlight. I don't know any other 21700 that can do this and basically rest horizontally. That's just insane. So just be careful. This magnet is no joke that they have on the bottom. They actually made one strong enough to compensate for the weight of this light. And it is, well, it's not a light. Let's see, how heavy is this thing? This thing is 188 grams. That's not light, to say the least, but still able to function. Speaking of stats here, the last one that really matters is going to be price. And this thing is, well, it's a pretty penny. I'm not going to lie, it's expensive. The fit and finish is phenomenal on this light, there's no question. But you really have to know it's the right thing and it's the kind of light that you really can depend on. Rovyvon has a phenomenal reputation, and man, did they make a nice piece here. Definitely something that I'm going to end up putting in a car bag. Most likely I might include that, or actually put it on my wife's bedside table, because it was easy for her to figure out as well, and it gives me a little bit of peace of mind knowing that she has a light that is ultra powerful just like I do. Anyway, not much more to say about the S23. I'm very impressed. I'm not sure everyone is going to be behind buying something of this quality for the type of purpose that I'm suggesting, but maybe it's worth it. Emergency lights are probably not the place to skimp, in my opinion. There are other options like this light where it's simple in use, has long run times. I think I'm going to start talking a lot more about emergency flashlights because it's a category in and of itself. This is one of them though, and it's definitely worth considering. Anyway, thank you for your time, and we'll talk again soon.